Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers. Last episode, if you recall, we built this lovely bridge, which works and is amazing. In addition, we have LCDs, if you can see in the blackness of this window. There are LCDs and we put medical rooms and such, and it's all good. And it makes it so that this section of the ship doesn't look like rubbish. Today, we're going to be building another module on the ship, as we have been doing for the past 5 episodes. However, this module is going to be different. Instead of just being we're just going to put facilities in here, what we're actually going to do is we're going to build a drone control station. And the fun thing about this drone control station is that we want the ability to build and launch them as well, which is going to be semi-exciting. Now this does mean that we're going to have to change the chassis a bit. I've currently, as you can see, I've placed a kind of template of the current design. As you can see, it's very, very similar. I've also made sure that we've got some kind of neatness here to denote that this is a different module. So first of all, what we're going to want to do is we need a larger area in order to launch drones. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to denote the area in which there will be, in which the floor will be, right? Because that's going to be a useful thing to do. Now, we can continue on straight from here, which is pretty useful. So we'll do that. If we go along here, we don't have to go all the way, but I'm going to. We've got a mining carriage and a military escort. Okay. Just wondering if there was anything massive that I needed to get rid of. I need to edit some files in order to stop the massive Stargate ships from spawning. I still want the smaller ones that have 0-point modules, but I don't want the massive ones. Okay, so here is going to be where the floor is. And if we bring that out... no, if we turn off the nanite factory first before I do anything else, and I get regular blocks, and I bring these out along here, this should show you the shape in which we are going to take. So let's just fill this in. Most of this is going to be filled in anyway. Stuff that isn't, I'm just going to delete, which is why we have disabled the nanite factory. Right, let's do that. Good. Right, so I want it on the lower end, so it's closer to the new cargo bay that I've built, because that means that we can have a welder attached to it, and that's brilliant. So first of all, I'm thinking that we start here, right? Okay, I'm actually going to cut away here because we're going to need to save this area for later. So let's just add that in because that's going to make my job easier. Yep, you place there, and you place there. Then if we change these into these guys, then we know that don't mess with anything beyond here, right? So let's weld this up. Except for the fact that this is not sealed. Seal that. Yeah, so what we want to do is I'm going to change this. I really should have a better orientation so that people can understand what's going on. We're going to want this to come out so that we have more area in which to have a airlock door, right? So we're going to do this. And that means that we're going to need to get rid of this, right? If you understand where I'm going with this. This means that this area here is basically going to be a place for exiting entering and exiting ships, right? Okay, so if we bring that back, I want it a bit wider than it is taller, and the current height is about 4 in terms of the exit. So let's make it, that's 3, let's make it 5. Okay, so if that's 5, then what we want to do is we want to change this into, we want to change from here into this. Get number 4, flip it around the proper way, you fool. And then we continue with our lovely slopes. Right, let's turn Nano Factory and see how that looks. Noting that we need to get rid of you. Yeah, this is going to be slightly complicated in the way that we're going to do this. Right. Okay, so if we do that, then that gives us a significantly wide area to use, noting that we only need this area here to be used for control, right? We can have a laser antenna here, and that will allow us to talk to it. It's going to be a short-range one. We'll build a long-ranged antenna on either the top or the bottom to just make it easier to do our jobs. Okay. Now, with that done, what we need to do is we need to make this easier to use. Or rather, make it so that the armoring connects with each other, which is going to be fun. Yeah, this is going to be fun. Right, so first of all, let's make sure that we have that so that everything's on the same level. We can actually seal this stuff up, right? That's actually quite a nice area to build with. An alternative for this would be, and we'll test out here, is that we actually, hang on, so we've currently got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we should only need a 5. Okay, so if we do that, right, that should give us enough room. So what we could do, in fact, oh god damn it, it's too late. What we're going to do is we're going to extend this again by 1. We have the space for it. So let's move you. Right, move you as well. That's a military escort, okay. No, wrong one. And that. Right, flip all the way over. No, there, yeah. We do that, this means that we have a gap of 6. And then we will throw a thing here, and this will give us plenty of room. Right? Plenty of room. That should work. Okay. Now, in order to make this, you know, fun to use, we can't have that slope that way, can we? No. So this will be the actual limit of how far we can go, right? So for now, I'm just going to place these so that we know how big our construction bay is. Noting that we'll probably have a series of welders on the top that weld anything in here, right? Though we could just use this for storage. Yeah, okay, right. I'm going to do some testing, because I want to see if we can dock the mining ship in here. Because if we can, I can create a smaller version of the mining... I can create a drone version of the mining ship. Right, let's turn this thing on. Unpark. Right. We want to go this way. Right. Okay. Yeah, I believe this will fit this fella, which is pretty good. Right. Like a glove, except a glove that's a bit too big. Is it long enough though? Yeah, it's long enough. Okay, good. Right, that's brilliant. Excellent. And we can now land this. So for now, we'll use it as a parking area for the mining ship, because that's what we're going to use it for. Basically, because I want to retrofit the mining ship so that it's actually a drone. The way that I'm going to make that work is going to be ingenious or really dumb, but you know, they're kind of the same thing sometimes, right? Okay, so with the area in which we're going to have this done, noting that we still want to have some sort of gate system. Actually, we might be in luck there. No. Door. Yes. We want... That's not going to be big enough, is it? Not going to be big enough. No, it's going to be too small. Oh, yes. Look at the masterpiece. We got a door that was just the right size, right? This is ridiculous. I never expected that to happen. Finally, this modded door becomes used. That's open. Yeah, so let's place this and see how that looks. Okay, so the texture, from what I saw, wasn't as high fidelity as I wanted it to be. But we can live with that. Meanwhile, let's just fill this in, shall we? Now that's going to be slightly a problem, because I don't want it going upwards. I want it disappearing. Okay. It does look kind of stupid. Okay, maybe, just maybe, that wasn't the one that we wanted. No, you. Thank you, right. Okay, we can't use that. Okay, so what we can use is we can use these sealed hangar gates, right? And what these sealed hangar gates represent is they'll have a force field inbuilt with them. And basically what that does is that if anything, well, you can still have players and ships go through it, but you can't have air go through it. So it's still pressurized even though people can go through it. So that's amazing, right? It's ingenious. We could place them here, but that means that we have a 4-block area to use. And that's not what I want. I want a 5-block area. So that's going to be kind of annoying. The alternative would be that we have 2 either side, or we have them above and below. I'm probably going to say have them above and below. Yeah, right. Right, let's make this thing work, shall we? So let's get a slope, which will be here. We then want to replace all of these. Right. This wants to be a regular, this one wants to be a slope like that. And then what we do is we have hangar gates. No, we don't want 10 meters. Why do I have 10 meters? No, I want 5. Let's get number 5. Right. Flip it over like this. That's not going to be big enough. My God, I hate it. So annoying. I mean, come on. No, that could work. Could work. It could work. No. Okay, fine. This universe doesn't want me to create a gate this size, because that's how much running. I don't want to have to install more mods to do this. No, that's not going to happen. Lovely. Good to know that works. Alternative is that we increase the width and the height, right? So we need to increase the height. We would need to increase the height to make it look nice, but we'd need to increase the width so that we can have enough doors. But that means that the fly-through width is going to be even, and that's going to be ugly as hell. Okay, so we might stick with it being depressurized anyway. And we can have this as a sealed environment in here, right? We can have this as a sealed environment. Yeah, I'll go with that. Right, so let's reverse what I just did. Pretty easy, actually. Because it's just simply place... yeah, let's fly over here and do that. Get that. This. Slope. Right. That should replace what we did, and that should make it look very nice. And then what we need to do is just pretend it's all sealed, right? Just pretend. We'll do this, right? We can have some form of glass here so that we can see through it. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. Right, okay. That's good. Right, so right now we're going to be working on the actual construction bit, not the control, because control will come later when we actually have a drone to test, which will probably be this ship rigged to be tested, but that should be good. Right. Seal that up as well. Seal the top, which we need some of you. Right. I'm going to need... This area is also going to need to be sealed here. Right, you get the point. Well, you get the picture, rather. Let's do this side as well. I'll do the front section, well, I'll do the rest of it later, right? Because I don't want to have to do this all episode, because that would be boring. Yeah, let's just finish this off, shall we? No, this is going to need to be, that's... Okay, right. So with that done, what we need to do next... I'm upside down. Yes, I am upside down. What we need to do next is we need welders that can hit everywhere. And we can probably place them in the ceiling and get away with it. Luckily, we have the ability to grab from here. Thank you, large azimuth cargo container. So that should be pretty simple. Now, I'm going to make a simple setup that I'll hide in the walls later, because that's just going to make my job easier. Right. Okay, let's go up. Okay. So I'm probably going to want a few. In fact, no. I'm going to go test. We're going to go test. the extent at which the base tier welder, which is the one with larger radius, can actually weld. So we're going to place a base tier welder here, right? And then what we're going to do, so I'm going to have this, right? I'm going to go up as high as possible, yeah? And then as wide as possible. Noting that I don't believe it will go beyond 3, because if it does, then that's going to be fun. Because we want to make it safe to actually be in the observation room when the welding is happening, right? Noting that we can easily get rid of this by just cutting off the stuff below, right? So I'm going to create a massive cube of this, which is going to be a huge pain on my economy, but all in the name of testing, right? Yeah, so we'll be back in a second. Okay, so we have a cube of unwelded steel plates for testing, and all we need to do now is we just need to place a bunch of steel plate in here, right? So I'm going to go grab a bunch of steel plate, which we can get from down here, which I can't get from there, so I have to fly it over to here. Right, now we've got what we've got is a 7 by 7 by 5, which means 49 well, 48 steel blocks, and then 48, and then 49, 49, 49, because the welder takes up some of it. So this should be good for testing. Right, so let's throw some steel in here. I'm going to grab some more steel just in case, because I doubt that 1,000 will be enough. So let's drop off some items. And no, I don't want to drop off that. I want this. Thank you. Right. So we'll just throw in a bit more resources. If it isn't enough, then we'll go and add some more. But yeah, if we throw this in, then what we want to do is we want to activate it. So let's go in here, let's go rover, let's go welder, and on. Noting that it's trying to weld a lot of blocks at the same time. Unless it's bugged. Oh, there we go. As you can see, taking quite a while. But yeah, you can see the effective radius of it, if you can see a bit. Once this is done, I'll get rid of all of the unwelded blocks so that we can actually see the radius. Because it should be pretty interesting. Perhaps I should have added a booster module onto it. Might have been a good idea. You know, also not measuring behind it, because we don't care if someone's standing on top. If they're standing on top of our ship, then they're going to die anyway. Because, you know, that's how it rolls. We are going to have the ability to walk on the outside, by the way, since you can get out here, and you can walk along this path, and you can walk along here. You should be able to walk all the way up and down the length of the ship easily if there's gravity generators, right? Because we are planning to have a second floor, currently the bridge. We may have other stuff on here that requires gravity in order to work. Once this thing stops welding, then we should be good. Noting, here we go, ladies, that if I go on top of here, I shouldn't get killed. Good, right, so that's all of that welded, so let's go and welder off. Right, so There's no easy way to get rid of all of the unwelded blocks, right? Except with a chisel, in this case a grinder. It's a pretty effective radius. Yeah. I'll be back in a second once this is all grinded down. Okay, so here we have the completed footprint, right? It's a pretty big footprint. So if we were to have, well, the optimal thing to do, right, would be if we have one here, and then we build another one. Okay, well, no. First of all, we need to mark out where we're wanting. So we're not going to really be building in these tight corners here, right? So we can safely put our things here. Our width is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. 5. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Our length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Noting that we really won't be needing to weld on the 7th, but might be a good idea to be able to do so anyway. So, in order to do that, considering a distance of there's no gap between where we're welding, right? Since the height is 3, we're going to want to have them built like this, right? Probably arranged like so. And in order to do that, we need width is 3, 2 out from where it is. So we want 1 here, which will provide for 2 along here, 2 along here, 2 along here, without the gaps. So if we go 2 along, 1, 2, then that will be able to deal with the others, right? So our effective radius should be the entire area. Unless I've done it wrong. Actually, we can do one better. We can go up 1. Right? That's if we want to go up 1, by the way. So we can have base 2 welder here and a welder here. And that will be able to supply for the entire yard. Problem comes when we actually want to, you know, do things with it. The alternative is that we have them horizontal ways, right? But that is an entirely different matter. If we go length, considering that this is the end of where the welder takes up, so 1, 2, 3, 4 is the effective range, and we have a width of 5 to consider, which means that we will need 4 welders in that case. And also it will take up, you know, my lovely view screen and that. So yeah, but I believe this is the way that I want to do it. And no one else will question otherwise. Right, so that's the way I've done it, which means that we want in here and in here, right? So we want a regular conveyor junction which requires interior plate, which I don't have because I threw it away because I'm an idiot. They're rebuilding all of the steel. Yeah, so I want a conveyor here and a conveyor here. This will come out like this, and this will come out like this, except for the fact that we want it, you know, squirreled away in a proper fashion. So we will have it go along here, right? And then it will join up here, and go down. Right? That should make it the easiest. Now, what I'm probably also going to do is I'm going to add control modules onto these things, which will mean that we need more space. But that can be done later. Right? I'm going to need to get rid of that thing. That's going to be fun. Yeah, so that should be the welding area. And that means that we should be good. I can get rid of this now. Except the fact that I'm out of power. Okay, so on that bombshell, we've got the area planned out. I'm going to start constructing, well, start building out the rest of it, so in terms of interior design-wise. And then next episode, we'll get with building a reliable connection, right? I'll get into that next time. Don't start going along about how it's going to work when you know that you're not going to be able to do it right now and have to do it later. Yeah. So until then, my name has been Zero Jake. End transmission.